Oh boy. It's not very loud, is it? It's actually very quiet. The pump is not running though. As you already know from the video title, today we have Creality Falcon A1 laser engraver and cutter that has been sent to me by Geekbuying.com. I have been using it now for a while, and not only that it is quiet, it also doesn't stink in my room. As you can see, I use it in the same room where I work and I sleep. Here, the laser arrives fully assembled. You just have to literally plug in a few wires, connect the air hose, and put that exhaust pipe somewhere out the window or into whatever the collection system that you have, and it's basically ready to run. I use the Creality's software. You can use Lightburn, you can use or any other software that you like for laser engraving or cutting, or you can use the firmware that comes from Creality, Falcon Design Space. It has all the basic features that you need for basic cutting and engraving. The only thing I'm missing is basically, you know, the test patterns where you do the little squares for cutting or engraving. For that I use Lightburn or something else to design them. Other than that, it's a really simple firmware to use. If you never use laser, probably you can figure it out in 20 minutes or so. After using this laser for a while, there are a few things that I really enjoy. First of all, the camera. The camera is fantastic because you can close the lid, take a picture of the bed and the item that you put underneath it. So it's super easy to align your design onto the thing that you want to engrave on or cut on. So that's, for me, probably one of the best features. That camera also works as a scanner. In case you bought the materials from Creality, they come with material cards. You can put that card under the camera, scan it, and then the device will automatically update the material in your project to the one that you have scanned here. That's very nice and easy, especially if you're using Creality materials. I do not use them, so I don't use that feature that much. But anyways, camera is always nice and welcome. It has a pretty decent bed size, so you can put larger sheets of material in it. I pre-cut my plywood to this size, so this is the largest, I think is like A3 paper kind of format that you can fit and utilize in this laser. Talking about cutting, it does a really good job with 6mm plywood. So I cut out quite a few pieces of 6mm plywood and I didn't have any big problems with it. When you need to cut 6mm plywood, it's a bit slow and it can do it in a really great quality, and you can get really nice and sharp cuts of 6mm plywood and below. Talking about downsides, well, there are a couple. First actual downside is that the print head doesn't go any more up. There is no more space above the print head right here when you close the lid. So the thickness of the materials that you can put underneath for engraving is really limited. So if you have a piece of slate that has these little pads on the bottom, it's already kind of at the limit of what's possible. So the calibration tool, it's barely fitting for the engraving setting. It will engrave that slate, but it's probably the maximum what you can get. So around 1 centimeter thickness of the material is the maximum what you can put in, unless you take off the bottom plate and you raise the entire engraver up. When you try to put it below, it actually goes quite low, the head, it doesn't even reach the bottom. So you can actually engrave on top of table or some other surface if you need to. Of course, some of you will question the speed of this laser engraver, but it's, I would say, in line with most of the 10-watt diode lasers. So it will take you a while to do your projects. If you're running mass production, you might probably consider more powerful laser engraver. It's not about the movement of the head. I think the head can move pretty fast, but it's more about the power of the laser and how long time does it take to engrave or cut the materials. For my own liking and for my own projects, it's not a bad result. I think one piece of slate takes me around 7 to 8 minutes, depending how much detail is there. The same with leather. And then cutting the wood, it of course depends on the size and the complexity of your project. One more annoying thing is when you do firmware update, it's beeping all the time. And that's about it for me with the downsides. Other than that, it doesn't take any time to set up. It's super easy to use. It cuts 6mm plywood without issues. It can engrave on most of the surfaces that you need. So in my world, it's a really good laser engraver. It's super quiet and it has a pretty good suction. It comes with an air pump and pretty good suction out of the air, so you can keep it actually in the room and it doesn't smell so bad. I have to mention that the design is super nice. It's extruded gray aluminum and all the features look very professional with all the... Oops. I like these levels of detail that is typical for Creality products. I would say they really stepped up their game in the finish quality and so on. On the day of recording the video, the engraver is retailing for 589 euros on geekbuying.com, but I will try to get some discount code and put it in the link in the description below. So watch out for that if you want to buy one for yourself. Thank you all for coming here and watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.